Yeah, fingers crossed.
No promises.
Yeah, no promises. Daniel, I feel like I'm in dance club or something. Like
Dance
soft jazz, maybe a little jazzercise class, you know?
Zombie Bob always got to get the first word in.
That's not true.
But we are live tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Your Geaux Team on February 5th, 2026. I am your moderator, the moderator extraordinaire, Daniel himself. Much better dressed tonight than my friend on the other side of the transatlantic cable, Zombie Bob. How you doing tonight?
I'm slumming, evidently.
Slumming.
I don't win Best Dressed Award tonight. David and Chip got the memo to wear their LSU gear, rocking it. Daniel straight off of a corporate golf outing, it looks like. I'm not really sure what happened there.
No, but
probably a stop in HR on the way home because he got got called in. But okay,
no promises made. Down the river tonight, we got Mr. Excitement himself. Chip, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Got a fist pump out of you tonight.
Fist pump, man.
I'm impressed. And then tonight, special guest joining us tonight to talk a little LSU baseball. David Billiot, thank you for joining us tonight.
I'm excited to be here. I'm very appreciative of the opportunity. I'm ready to go. We're 8 days away. It's like Christmas, all over again, next Friday. So I'm excited. Now thank you again for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course.
We would have been on 5 minutes earlier if it wasn't for Zombie Bob just yapping away pre-production. G Moose, I was trying to get us live. I see you in the chat. Paul, I see you in the chat, but I couldn't get Zombie Bob to stop talking, telling stories in the background. He says we need to have the legal disclaimer ready to go. So G Moose, we're counting on you tonight.
Chip said he's going to be well behaved. I was just warning David. David's a respectable guest. We appreciate him that he's taking the time to come on. So we just, we want to put our best foot forward for David tonight. So, all right, David, my first question, total left field, no pun intended. I myself am a junior, right? And my old man always said to me, I'm not Zombie Bob Sr., you're Zombie Bob Jr. So is your dad David Sr., or are you but are you David Jr.?
Just junior, but I'm pretty sure he said that before. Like when I've mentioned, do you have to put senior? And he said the exact same thing.
Right. My old man and your old man, right? I mean, my entire life, David. Yeah, I'm not senior. You're junior. And unfortunately, our dad's passed 20 years now, and I am still meticulous about legal documents or anything like that, making sure, no, I'm Stephen M. Jr. Well, I just gave away my name, but whatever. But the other thing, and David, we'll get to know you a little bit tonight. And again, we thank you for taking the time to come educate us about LSU baseball. My old man always said to me, well, one day there's going to be a little, Zombie the Third running around. And I was like, no way, man. I liked my junior name. I thought it flowed well. And sure enough, my Stephen the Third, Zombie the Third, will be 26 in June. So my old man was right about that as well. So anyway.
Yes, they are.
Do you know that means I am the only person on this show tonight that is not a junior or a third?
Oh, okay.
Because Chip is
the third.
Yes.
Okay.
And we got two juniors. We got the juniors over here.
I'm feeling left out over here.
Side of the spectrum. All right, David, enough putting up with this comedy hour that we call a podcast here. All right, first and foremost, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into baseball? How did you get to be so extremely knowledgeable about baseball and that thirst, that knowledge, and then just take us from there?
So I grew up playing baseball, played football as well, but baseball was always my main sport, all through high school. And then really it was 2008. was when I got to 2008 was my first year at LSU, and that was the last team at the old box. That UC Irvine series, when they came back and then had the huge win in Game 3, went to Omaha, sent off the box the right way. That's kind of when I really fell in love. I mean, I watched before that when I was younger, but when I got to LSU, that's when like the passion really started. And then 2009, I was in Omaha in 2009, for that team. So haven't been able to see Rosenblatt is an experience that I'm very thankful to have.
Right. So it's just you're playing ball growing up and then getting to college and then just seeing that on the field and then just falling in love and the understanding that you had of playing baseball and then the appreciation of it that you had. We were joking, and it is my fault that we started a little bit late, everybody. I was joking, like I didn't even know that LSU had a baseball team. Like I grew up going to LSU games in the 70s and 80s. And then when they finally won their first one, I was well into my 20s. And I'm like, LSU has a baseball team? Yeah. And there was one time I spent the summer in upstate New York during the 90s. I don't remember which one, but my old man sent me like the Morning Advocate. And I think an LSU t-shirt, Daniel, because they had won a championship. And I'm like, why is my dad sending me this? Like, okay. And like, it just didn't register for me. But again, I grew up back before television and, stone tablets for newspapers instead. So.
All right, you graduated high school in 1984, right?
That is correct.
That was the year Skip Bertman was hired.
Okay.
So, in all fairness to you, can anybody name the name of the head coach before Skip Bertman?
Was there one?
I can't think of it. I can see his face.
That's probably the best the ultimate trivia question of all time. Name the LSU baseball coach before Skip Bertman. But Skip Bertman said his first season at LSU, that's where students went to go study, because if the library was too loud, they would go to the baseball stadium and just watch baseball practice. Because
all right, now I have to report. My doctor says I have to self-report dementia moments. So I apologize, David. I was aware of LSU having a baseball team because I did one semester at LSU before I promptly flunked out. I roomed across the hall from Joey and Terry Bell. Joey
cool.
Bell. Yeah. So when Daniel said, "Oh, you graduated class of '84," I'm like, "Oh, well, Joey Bell was across the street." I mean, he became Albert Bell later in life, but Joey Bell and Terry Bell, his twin brother, played, and they were across the hall from me. But then I was going to tell you also, because Daniel wasn't even around back then, Will Clark, San Francisco Giants, Jesuit High School in New Orleans, Mississippi State, 1984 Olympic team. He grew up 2 doors down from my grandparents, our paternal grandparents out in New Orleans. He's near right across the street from Digby Playground. So
nice.
Yeah. So I was. Let me just back up. I was aware that LSU had a baseball team back then, but other than that, the fact that I lived across the hall.
Good in '86.
Yeah, that's why, Zombie, I wanted to frame that, because you could offend some people by saying that if they don't know your proper age, because you look good for your age.
Damn straight, I look good.
If you'd graduated,
take your hat off.
If you did, bald. If you did graduated in '95, some people would have came at you, for saying that. So that's why I was trying to frame that. Paul in the chat just absolutely nailed that trivia question, by the way. I even went and looked it up. It is correct. Jack LeMabe, do you want to know where he was born, Zombie Bob? I'm throwing this to you because it's in your wheelhouse.
Brooklyn, New York.
Farmingdale, New York.
Oh, I know Farmingdale. Suffolk County.
That's an impressive.
They got some good bars in Farmingdale.
For those of you who don't know, Zombie Bob lived on Long Island for 11 years. So,
I lost my train of thought, but yeah. All right, so David, enough of the comedy show. We've been accused of just doing a variety show instead of a sports podcast. And all right, so then you finish up at LSU, but then you've done some writing for some Saints websites and everything. So just bring us up to what you're doing now and where everybody can find you on social media.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna try to keep this short, but
don't keep anything short. So just take your time.
Yeah, we got all night.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'll fit right in then.
Absolutely.
So there was a website, Hornets 24/7 or Hornets 247 back in the day. 15 years ago, and it was Joe Garrity. I remember his name, who operated the site. There was a couple guys, and I've always enjoyed basketball, like root for the Pelicans and all, but I don't know it like I know baseball or football. So they did a great job of putting the game in an understanding for just a casual fan. Like the way they wrote, it's kind of before podcasts, so it was mostly blogs, but I loved how they broke things down just for someone like me, who like enjoy to watch basketball. So I asked them one day, I said, do y'all do any Saints, or you have any plans to do any kind of Saints content? And he said, we do have one. It's Saints 247. They hadn't been putting as much into it as they did the I don't know if I said Pelicans, Hornets, but yes. Yeah. So I was like, I jumped on board. And so from day one, that was like my goal, is to write and put things into a perspective that the casual fan, your aunts and your uncles and your cousins, whatever, anybody could understand and be like, that makes sense, because not everyone knows the X's and O's, like a lot of us do. And so from there, I wrote for a couple of years, and it kind of fizzled out. They got out of the website, and there might have been a couple year gap where I wasn't writing. And then that's when I happened to see Ross Jackson on Twitter, who's now risen way up the ranks. He's locked on Saints. He's in California right now, the Super Bowl. Dude's awesome. Okay. So I asked him. I saw they were doing some Saints writing for All Saints Considered at the time. So I jumped on board with them, did some podcasts, with those guys. That turned into Section 600. I can't remember why they changed the name, but did that for a couple of years. Did some shows with them, and that's what I alluded to it on Twitter the other day. That I was going to bring up Ross, at some point, because I'm so proud to have worked with him. He's so good at what he does.
He's very good at what he does.
I learned a lot from him. Yeah, he's good. So and then as got towards the last year I wrote for the Saints was the year my daughter was born. So life gets busier and all, and I kind of that's when I stopped writing for the Saints. And ever since then I haven't been doing anything. I've been talking about getting back into this for years. I mean, even before the 2023 season, I've been saying it and just always found a reason not to do it. And then finally this year, I know Zach. His cousin is married to my sister. So I've been knowing him, for years. And I saw him starting to do a little bit with Purple Mafia, and I just sent him a message one day and was like, "What you got going on?" And told him where I've been. I want to get back into it, and the rest is history. He's been, keeping me in the loop and all, and here we are.
Well, actually, you and I met a week ago Friday. Well, just last Friday. It seems longer, but All Things Go had set up a roundtable discussion, and it was just a Friday night jam session. And I told my significant other, I'm like, hey, Daniel's not able to jump on. I think it's a good thing to do and represent. And it's going to start at 8. So just give me an hour and a half, and 3.5 hours later, and look, it wasn't it wasn't tedious or anything like that. But 3.5 hours later, I'm like, guys, I'm old. I got to go to bed. And unfortunately, I was the first one to tap out. But you guys went another hour and a half. Y'all went 5 hours start to finish. And we had people in the chat, which was awesome. And that's where we met AP. That's why I saw AP on Twitter prior to that. And then we had him on Sunday night. I actually was on last night with AP, and I don't have the plaque yet, but the plaque's going to go up on the wall. I was AP's guest between Daily Joy on Monday night, and then tomorrow night he's having on Marlon Favorite from LSU. So I'm like, not bad for this, guy that doesn't know how to shut up, type thing or whatever. But
the cream in the middle is the best part of the Oreo.
Oh, David, I knew I like David. David, you got an open invitation to come back every week. All right, so we are going to talk about sports. We are going to talk about LSU baseball. So really, we're just going to put the ball in your court. These two guys right here are going to have some, clarifying questions for me. For us of you, but
I'll keep you on your toes, Zombie.
Okay, but David had mentioned openers 8 days away. Friday the 13th, we open up the non-conference schedule. March 13th, we open up at Vanderbilt. So there's some time there. So nobody's bookmarking this or time stamping it to come back at you in the season, because it's a long haul to get to Omaha. So whatever we say, hey, well, what's your prediction for the opening day roster? Not roster, but lineup. Or what do you think about the starting rotation in the beginning of the season? Realize, and of course, Jay is going to tinker with everything and just try to find the right combination, and roles are going to change and all that. But with all that build up, David, the floor is all yours. Just tell us what you think about what's coming up and what we should expect.
It's coming back after winning the national championship is always difficult, especially in today's day and age with, everyone's leaving. Not everyone, but it's the money, it's tough to bounce back. But if there's any man in charge that can make it work, it's Jay Johnson. Right. And I think the fact that things went the way they did in 2024, after winning it all in 2023, they get out to the 3-12 start in SEC play, barely fight back to get in. I think that's going to forever benefit him going forward. He's going to learn to not have that happen again. He's better prepared, but I'm excited. We'll get through, each position and all, but I do think that this is one of the deepest teams that he's had. And it's crazy because it feels like we say this every year, and it just keeps getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And he's very good at roster construction and just having something for every single particular that you can when it comes to all facets of the game. It's exciting. I'm excited. It's going to be, tough, just like always. The SEC is brutal. They got a tough schedule, but it's LSU baseball with Jay Johnson in control. I feel good about it.
Right. He says it, and he does such a good job of it, of managing like the transfer portal guys and your high school recruits, and that the high school recruits are what he said. I don't remember where I read it today, but he said that your high school recruits is what maintains the success, but they have to get better each season. So you count on those guys, but they got to get better each year. And then obviously you supplement through the transfer portal, but it's like he strikes that balance between the two almost perfectly. Unlike obviously Brian Kelly. So
poor Brian Kelly,
just catching a stray there.
Who killed the kid? Catching a stray, right? Yes. Right. But David, speak to that. He's got 14 returning players off of that, but 25 guys. Out of it's almost a 2-to-1 ratio there. But like you said, Jay Johnson has juggled this, but that's a lot. 25 new guys.
It is. They didn't have as big of a high school class this year. That's what makes college baseball so interesting, because you have no idea who's going to actually make it. I mean, you could have 15 guys in a class and then 10 of them get drafted. I don't know the exact numbers for this year, but there's a lot. They lost a lot of guys that they hoped to get there, and it just didn't work out. They got some guys that they are lucky to have gotten, but and then even with your guys that are already there, like the Ethan Fries, even Chase Shores, guys like that who may come back, they may leave. And then, so it's incredibly tough job for him to plan that out based on what he thinks may happen, with the draft and who's going to come and who's not. So it's impressive that he can make it work every year like he does.
Yeah. He's so good at maintaining it and building that consistency.
Yeah.
And Chance, I got an eye on the women's basketball game too.
Yeah, it's on to my right.
What's the score?
It's on commercial break. What was it, 47-40?
Yeah, I think we were down by 5 whenever.
42.
Pretty much down at halftime. They were doing well, and then they kind of right before the second half. All right, but David, one of my questions was exactly that. It's very deep roster that he has, and compare that depth to 2023, 2025. It seems like this is kind of sort of like Lane Kiffin's portal haul, and the talent that he's assembling over there. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's I'm not sure, at least at this point, I'm not sure that this team has like the star power that 2023 had. Like I said, that could change, people could blow up. But, that you went into 2023 with Dylan Cruz, with Tommy White coming off of a ridiculous freshman year, Paul Skeens, Jordan Thompson, it was a 2-year starter at shortstop, coming into that year. Gavin Dugas, lead. You had so many of these guys that just was like one after another. So it could turn into that this year, I believe, but it's not questioned. But I think I'm curious to see how it works out as far as, we know Derek Curriell is going to be good. We know Stephen Milam is going to be good. No, Jake Brown's going to be good. But like of all these new guys, like the Zach Yorks, the Trent Caraways, the Seth Dardars, the even Kate Aaron, who's going to take that next step and join, the elite group? And it's going to be, it could be any of them. I fully believe that. And that's why it is hard to predict exactly what will happen, because they're all super talented. It's going to be exciting to watch how it plays out.
Is Zach York a two-sport player? Is he on the football team as well?
No.
Because he could be built. He could be.
He could be.
I heard you with Zach last night in Purple Mafia and talking. Oh, he's what, like 6'2", 6'3", like pushing 300?
Yeah, 6'2". I'm listed at 6'2", 295.
295.
He played right guard.
Right guard. We have a right guard. Well, we might have a right guard. Boss probably going to be penciled in at right guard, but we probably need a left guard. He could play that. York could be penciled in there. Hey, my driver's license says 295 as well, just to keep it under.
Just to keep it a good number.
Same as my batting average.
He's on the run too, man. He's not slow.
No, not at all. So.
Well, Zombie, what position do you want to start? Do you want to go position by position?
No, actually, I just want to let, David, just take us around the horn. Like I said, I know that the lineup's going to change. There'll be injuries. There'll be people that, like you said, rise up and then kind of maybe knock somebody to the side and take over a position. But just, take us around the starting lineup. What you think it would be.
Okay. I wrote down. Sorry, I feel like the papers are ruffling here. I got my legal pad.
That's what I keep looking at.
Yeah, so I got Chris Stanfield, Derek Curriell, and Jake Brown is your starting outfield. That's the most solidified spot on the team. I would state it as the best outfield in the country, without even knowing deep down every other one in the SEC or the country. When you return three starters like that can play, it's going to be tough to beat, both defensively and at the plate. I got Trent Caraway, I think, is your third baseman. That guy's got a lot of promise coming from Oregon State. He was a potential draft risk coming into Oregon State. They got him there as one of the guys that you're excited about when he makes it to campus. But he hit 4 home runs in their regional last year, really ended the season hot. And Jay's talked about it, how he recruits the bat and then works with the defense when they get here. And he's been happy with, what he's seen so far with the improvement at third base. So, I think you're starting third baseman. And then, like I said, Stephen Milam's your shortstop. We know that. Zach York's going to be at first base. And then second base is probably the biggest question mark between so many guys. You got Seth Dardar. That's the Kansas State transfer who's from Mandeville, went to Holy Cross. You got Tanner Reeves coming back, Braden Simpson. There's a bunch of guys that can play there. And then behind the plate, Kate Aaron Beatty, and there's some other guys that could play. But as far as starters, that's what I have at this point.
Go to the outfield. I think it has the potential to be the best outfield since probably that 2008 outfield where it was 2009. Matuk, Leon Landry, and Jared Mitchell, where not only do you have the potential for the bats to be that good, but you're also super athletic. All three guys played center field.
Yep.
So you have 3 center fielders. 2 of them one of them can hit for power. The potential's there for Curriell. He hasn't shown it yet, but he has all the potential in the world. Stanfield's probably not going to hit more than a handful of home runs at best, but still another elite defender out there. So I think it'll be the best outfield since maybe 2009.
Who do you think's our fourth guy back there, David? Like your next man up in the outfield?
So that it's depends on if they want him to get in the lineup at outfield or at DH. But Daniel Harden, it's a guy from JUCO.
Yeah.
He played for Catholic. He went to community college for a couple of years, McLennan. And the dude can hit. And he just looks the part too. He's if it wasn't for those three guys that we talked about currently being there, he'd be a starting outfielder, like no doubt.
Yeah, he's a dog. That's what I was kind of hoping you'd say.
Yeah.
I heard some talk about what's the I'm trying to remember his name. William Patrick.
The fresh.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard his name mentioned in the mix too, of like that next tier of guys.
Oh yeah.
So he's like Paul said in the chat, like they're locked in, but it's really just comes down to, late inning subs and lefty righty matchups or those guys.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to see some of them. It's a long season. Like we said, you're going to see some of these guys, and you're going to need some of them to develop at some point because somebody's going to be banged up one weekend. Mm-hmm. You're going to need somebody to step up.
And you think like Johnny Holstaff at second base, we're going to go with who's got the best bat and who's not making kind of like third base last year.
Correct. Yeah, I think it's actually going to be they can all hit. It's going to be defense, I believe. Jay values his defense very highly, and you got to line up full of bats. So even if you're talking about a 20, 25 point average difference, between two guys, he wants a guy that he knows that's going to make the plays. Remember, we were so spoiled last year with three shortstops on the infield with Daniel Dickinson at second and Milam, and then Michael Braswell playing at third. It was an incredible year. So it's keeping that consistency as far as fielding goes is going to be a big key. So I think that is going to be, who rises to the top.
It's Reeves' natural position, second, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree with Paul and G Moose in the chat. Both are saying Dardar's your second baseman. I tend to believe that too. I think they're moving him because I read that there's some of the scrimmages he's played a little bit of third too, but I don't know how true this is. Obviously, this is secondhand, but I heard that Caraway has had his moments of struggles at the plate. Obviously, another big potential guy. So maybe they were putting Dardar over there to give the other two guys some reps at second, but also to push Caraway a little bit. That's my theory on it, and I've got no inside source whatsoever. That's just Daniel's crackpot theory that he's just moving Dardar to third to put some pressure on Caraway too, because you don't want a guy who's coming in who's not at his best at the moment to just be comfortable over there. Competition makes everybody better. So that's my theory on why Dardar's gotten some reps at third. But I think he's your second baseman.
Yeah, he can play. He came from Kansas State. He played most games at second, but he also played first and third. He can do all of them. Caraway is like I said, he had his moments of struggle, like you said. That's fair. No short logic.
I want Reeves. Big Reeves guy.
Chip, you're a big Reeves guy. I'm not a big Reeves guy because he had the opportunity to beat out Braswell last year. And every time it was like Jay was considering making a change, it was like those were the games where Reeves would just go over every time he got a real opportunity. Because wasn't it early in the year he was batting 3-something?
Yeah, he had to be bats though. He was okay.
But then as he was getting more opportunity in the middle
of the season, and then I don't know.
But he was given opportunity. He started 19 games.
Yeah, well, he started pulling down his pants instead of wearing the knee highs, so it made him look way more athletic. I hate the stockings. I'd rather the loaded.
Chip likes the baggy pants with the
not baggy. No, tight fitting pants.
You like them over the cleats, right?
Yeah,
tucked in the bottom spikes.
Are right there. Okay. I'm not a big. I never pulled my pants up to my knees. I'm with you. I was always a lower. Yeah.
Paul says he loves Reeves. He's Napolt 2.0. My question is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I like Napolt.
I like Napolt too, but do you want Napolt never started for you?
Oh, is he still coaching or is he off doing bigger and better things?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. He was in the dugout. He was on the staff.
He was.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's still there this year. That's a good question.
Who's your guy? He says great thing. He could be a glue guy.
Says great thing.
Anybody can answer this. Who is your backup first baseman to York? Do you think it's going to be Yeoman, or do you think Brown the freshman takes a spot, or what? I know Brown's
could be. He could play. He's outfield, first base. I think he could be a first baseman in the future. I think Braden Simpson is a guy to watch there because that's another bat that he's going to want to get into the lineup.
Sure.
I would say probably Simpson, then Braun from what we've seen in the scrimmages so far, but could be either of those guys. I do think Braun is a first base in the future, like you said.
But David, Simpson could go back and forth between first and second.
Yes. Third. He played third at high point. They're very versatiile. All of those guys can play multiple positions, and that's what makes it, like I said, so hard to predict. Is because I don't even know if Jay knows what exactly they're going to do yet, and that's why he's been moving them around. You know, each scrimmage is like they all rotate one position. You know, just get reps everywhere.
To have the ability to do that, huh?
Oh yeah. I forget. I always forget. Braden Simpson's the guy from High Point. Yeah, that guy's right. Yeah.
Paul, keep the chats coming. We're a little conflict.
While you have Paul up, I don't want to go too far back, but Dardar, there was a Ramsey Dardar that played for LSU, defensive lineman in the late 70s or 80s, Chip?
Early
somewhere
80s.
Around that. Somewhere around the.
Ramsey Dardar definitely played for LSU.
There was a Dardar that was a pitcher a couple years ago, though, right?
I don't know the pitcher, but I know Ramsey Dardar. I mean, I don't know him, but I remember Ramsey Dardar. Is that the same family?
I'm not sure. I also had a coach at Hannon.
There was a Seth Dardar for somebody, and I don't remember who he.
I'm sorry, David. You were saying
Seth is the one right now, Chip. I think you're thinking Chase was Chase Dardar.
It was a Dardar that played for Vandy or something too.
I don't remember.
Yeah, Chase Dardar played at LSU. He was a pitcher.
Chase,
and he was also from Marrero. Went to Shaw.
He's probably related. Go deep. You go back far enough.
Oh wait, that was 2004, man. That was a while ago. So
I remember that. It's Nate Bumstead era.
Yeah,
that's a name.
Zombie, I got a question for you. Do you know who Ben Napolt is?
No.
Okay. He is on the coaching staff. He is the assistant director of player personnel or player development, position players.
Okay. I believe he came from VCU.
All right. Well, I see Chance's comment down at the bottom, so I'm going to put the legal disclaimer up first.
Ramsey Dardar was black and from Cecilia. Is that true?
You know, Chance, when we have...
You never know nowadays, dude.
No. When we have respectable guests, we'd like to just say... it's not the same relation. That would have been the better HR. We'll pull you into HR tomorrow. All right, but
I'm going to go ahead and say you weren't even close on that one, Zombie.
I would have been close on Ramsey.
Yes, he is
African American.
He's African American and is from Cecilia.
Okay. I appreciate a chance. All right, but I'm going to give a shout out to Rocky from St. Rose. He didn't call into the show at 1-800-555-team, but he did break the news that Drew Brees, first ballot Hall of Fame.
Hell yeah.
So we appreciate everybody listening to the podcast, and this is where you were if you didn't have your eye on the TV as well. And the linebacker from South Carolina, Luke, how do you say his name? Kulchi?
Keckley.
Yeah, whatever. So Tim Fitzgerald and so
Keekly. Is that right?
So something like that. Would I have put him in the Hall of Fame? No, but I don't have a vote. So, but Drew Brees, David. Later on, after we finish talking about LSU baseball, Daniel will tell you what am I, the son of a bitch that I am when it comes to the standards to which I held Drew Brees, and wasn't always very happy.
To Zombie Bob, Drew Brees was a victim of his own success. So, like, if Drew Brees threw for 500 yards one week, Zombie Bob expected 502 the next week. And so Zombie Bob was never satisfied because...
It's tragic.
Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly where my childhood trauma comes from, David. My old man, the first game, Daniel's already given away my age multiple times, but the very first game that I truly, truly, truly remember, LSU football, 1977, LSU versus Rice, 77-0. Carlos Carson caught 5 touchdown passes, and I should know the name of the place kicker because he has the record. He was 10 for 10 on extra points. So that is the standard to which I hold all LSU non-conference opponents. So when LSU beats New Mexico State 58-13. I'm like, how in the hell did we give up 13 points? And how in the hell did we not score 77? So Paul Harris got married in 77.
I got to do some math for you, Zombie.
Okay.
That would be 11 extra points.
10 touchdowns?
That would be 70.
Oh, okay.
I
got to go back.
Younger brothers, right? Younger brothers. God bless them. All right,
hey, man. I just didn't want anybody in the chat coming at you. So protecting you.
I already admitted that I flunked out of LSU.
But this isn't about LSU football tonight, Zombie. We're talking about LSU baseball.
Well, I'm just telling you. You said that my obsession with Drew Brees' shortcomings were due to my.
Okay, you segued from Drew Brees. I'll give you that.
Exactly. So me and Chance.
I do want to say one thing about York. I know what's going to happen. Every time LSU has a big boy in the lineup, I'm always the biggest fan in the world until he strikes out with the bases loaded. Game on line, and I'm like, you fat son of a bitch. Like in the moment, I always get pissed like that.
Right.
Who was it? Yeah. Riley Cooper. I had the biggest love-hate relationship with, I called him Fat Coop, because when he was striking people out and shit talking people as he's walking off the mound, there's nothing better. But then when he gives up a bomb, you're like, you son of a bitch, you should have been in the weight room.
Yeah, right. I know.
All right. All right, but Daniel, Fat Coop is a perfect segue for David. We have two Coopers on staff. We got Cooper Williams and Cooper Moore. You're fans of both of them.
Very much so. I could go on for a long time about both of these guys.
It's all yours.
Cooper Moore, the transfer from Kansas, he pitched in every spot for them last year. It was their ace, for a good bit of it. He's really good. I said this when I went to the scrimmage last Thursday, a week ago today. It was Case and Evans that started for one team, and then Cooper Moore that started for the other. And watching him in person, Cooper Moore is like the Anthony Ianson type of pitcher. Immediately. Yeah. You heard Jay talk about Anthony Ianson last year, and he always said the term pitchability. It's not just that you can throw a nasty slider in 96. You can go up, down, in, out with every single pitch. You can put it wherever you want. He's just a good overall pitcher. That's what I see from Cooper Moore. He's just got it all. He's got a 4-pitch mix. And he gave that lineup fits. He struck out 8 through 4 innings, against some really good hitters last week. And then Cooper Williams, I became a giant fan of him down the stretch last year. Mm-hmm. He just got better and better as a true freshman, and by the end of the year, he started as being a left-handed matchup specialist, come in for a lefty and, maybe throw an inning here and there. But by the end of the year, Jay leaving him out there for 3 or 4 innings, and he's just cruising, no problem at all. And then I watched him in Biloxi in the fall when they played Sanford, and it was 3 or 4 innings. I don't know that anyone got a hit off of him. He was incredible. And then he went straight down to the bullpen and kept throwing. And I was like, they're stretching this guy out to be a potential starter. That's 100% what they're doing. And then last week on Thursday, he came in after Cooper Moore and struck out another 8 guys in his 4 2/3 innings. Between the two Coopers, they struck out 16 in 8 2/3 innings. So that's my 2 other guys. Not to give it away too early, but that's the other 2 with Case and Evans that I'd have in the rotation. I think Cooper Moore is a definite by this point. I think he solidified that. Cooper Williams could be. I'm kind of reading tea leaves a little bit with, like I said, the stretching out. Maybe trying to extend them, and then just Jay like having a lefty in there. With the other 2 guys being right-handers. But that's my pick right now. I think they're both going to be very, very, very good.
Very good.
Who's your first middle reliever?
First middle reliever. It kind of depends, I guess, who does end up. So we'll say if those 3 end up in the rotation. Hopefully William Schmidt. He's potentially the most talented guy on the staff, so you want him to really lock in. The guy that could play that role, closer, whatever, but we talked about him a little bit last night, Gavin Guidry. You get him back, and they were working him. They were stretching him out before last year to be a potential starter. They were working him into that 3-4 inning, role. And I trust that dude, no matter when he goes out there. What the situation is, say Kason Evans, gets through 5 on Friday night. It's a 2-run game against another good ace. I trust Gavin Guidry to go out there and get you a few.
He's going to rise to the occasion every time.
Absolutely.
That Chance said it, Paul said it, Cowan,
Yeah.
He's a guy. What game did he start for you last year? The
Arkansas.
The second Arkansas game.
Yeah, that's 6 innings.
Yeah. And so he's a guy that's done it as a starter. It's like what Sami Bob said to start off with. There's so many options. I could see it going so many different ways. Somebody said it in the chat Saturday. Paul said Saturday Rizzy, and I could see a scenario where that happens. It's not that wild. Where when I first read that, I'm like, that's a crazy pick, but I mean, that's a guy that Jay says he likes a lot last year and sees him as a starter in the long run. He said the same thing about Cooper Williams. I remember when Jay said that midway through the season last year, when Williams was just a come in and face a lefty guy. He's like, oh yeah, I see starter potential in this guy. I'm like, what is he smoking? But then he just got better and better as the year went on. So there's so many different guys like Guidry. Aren't they still stretching Guidry out right now?
Yeah.
They tried it last year. He got hurt and they're stretched. So he's a guy that they're could potentially see as a starter too. So there's so many and then Sheeran, they're saying him in the chat too. There's so many different guys. But I do agree with you. Go back. I think it'll be Kason Evans on Friday. Sure. And then I think Cooper Williams on Saturday to break it up so it's righty, lefty, righty.
Right.
Because I has Jay ever not had a lefty in the starting rotation in the weekend?
Who was this?
I guess in 2023. Scenes, Floyd, and then they really didn't have a starter.
We didn't have
a
Sundays
that year. Yeah,
that's true.
What about
so I guess that kills my theory.
No, first year they would always go Johnny Holstaff that Sunday, wouldn't they?
Yeah, Cooper got some starts. I mean, it was crazy that year. Sundays were insane that year. So
I think it's crazy if you look down the roster. I just every time I look at it, I'm like, oh shit, I forgot he wasn't on. I forgot he came back for another year. This guy,
right?
It's just it's crazy. This is a stacked roster.
Yeah, speaking of middle relief and guys being here forever, I feel like Grant Fontenot and DJ Primo have been here since 2012.
Hasn't Fontenot had 2 stints here?
Yes.
Yeah, Fontenot has had 2 stints,
and he's also looked at as a guy that could give you some innings this year.
I've heard that. I haven't seen him myself this preseason, but I have heard that he's quietly been very, very good.
Yeah, I mean he was pretty good when he came on last year. Every now and then, it seemed like he was that guy looks pretty. But yeah, that's crazy that he went to Texas for a little while. I think he pitched some innings against us 2 years ago. Yeah, man, it's just a stacked roster. I'm really excited. Really excited.
It is. Like you said, Daniel, it's easy to forget. And when I mentioned someone I thought Guidry, Schmidt, and it's no matter who you say in any of these scenarios, no matter which position you talk about, you're leaving someone out. And it's every single time you could ask me this question, for the next 3 days, and I may give you different answers and leave a different guy out every day just because it is so stacked and loaded. It's exciting. It's the first few weeks, I mean, they always are fun with Jay just because he gets everybody opportunities. You see guys emerge, but it feels like this is going to be as up in the air, for some of the, especially pitching. The field's a little bit more solidified, but the pitching, it's pretty open, for all of these roles, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, plays that right.
I think it's going to make the first weekend fun. Right? It's going to make I'm excited to see all the guys get in as much as possible. Hopefully we can. I'm sure.
Don't we play on Monday too?
Yes.
So it's really like a 4-game series. So you can try out 4 starters.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
And so it's going to be. You can basically set up an open competition to see who it's going to be. Because I mean, we don't even know if like Casey Evans is supposedly the guy, but the last time we did this, it was I'm forgetting his name. Oh shoot, under Maneri, the close. Zach Hess. That blanked out for a second there. Last time we did this and we made our guy a Friday night starter to open season, it didn't really work out. So there's still some question marks with Casey Evans. And so you don't know who's going to be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, really. It could go any which way. And then throw in that Monday equation. Maybe he gives it to William Schmidt on Monday because he's got more potential than just about anybody.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Nasty.
I'm curious.
I'm curious to see how he does it. Rizzy, all of them seem like they could throw strikes at some points. And some points last year, they seemed like they couldn't throw a strike.
Yeah, you're spot on there.
Yeah. But they all have. I mean, gosh, I'm so happy to have those guys back. Yeah, Rizzy was a guy I was like, how could I ever forget about Rizzy? He's freaking huge. And then
And Jay loves a good 6'9" pitcher. I think it always cracks me up because how tall is Jay? 5'6"?
Yeah.
On a good day?
But he loves a good 6'8", 6'9" pitcher. Every year we've got, whether it was Gervais, Chase Shores. Yeah, there's always a 6'9", 6'8" pitcher on the staff, and when they're standing next to each other and they get a picture of it, I always think it's the funniest thing.
It's the Aaron Judge, Jose Altuve picture. Is what it is.
Yeah. Rizzy's been that's crazy.
See, David, this is the part of the podcast where I tell you that I should have control of the chat like my people want in the chat. You should have grabbed Paul's question there, Daniel. I think that little question mark in the box indicates a question. So, Paul, thank you for submitting this. David.
Okay, there you go, Zombie.
Who is your guy?
We were talking, Zombie.
Well, I mean, that was like 7 of them ago. You see, David, some of us just –
It was 2 minutes ago, Zombie.
It's an eternity on a podcast when you're just hanging out there and all. Like, it's a legit question. I mean, I had it in my notes, but I want to give props to Paul for asking and beating me to it. So
I might
David,
be.
You can see it now.
My vote now, Zombie. Be the.
Say again.
You might have my vote from here on out to be.
Yeah. I did see he took time to respond in the chat. We have a prankster in the chat, David. This guy named Oops. He's an Ole Miss fan. He hasn't been here most of the week. I think he was here Sunday night. I think he didn't take the trash out Monday and he got grounded and he was forbidden to log on to his laptop in his room. So we hadn't seen him the last few nights. But
I heard his dad took away because he was staying up too late.
He said, I heard it was the trash. But anyway, David, there's the question for you. Paul, thank you for submitting that. Thanks for being here.
See, Zombie, you didn't even repeat for our listeners on Apple and Spotify. They don't know the question. So if you're going to be in charge of the chat,
Reed's going to call. There's one person that reads the Spotify.
We get a handful. We get a handful of downloads, but they don't know that. So if you're going to be in charge of the chat, you got to read it. So I'm going to say, Paul says in the chat, David, who is your guy who will be the most surprising to have a breakout year on the mound or in the field and lineup? That's how you read the chat, Zombie.
I say do both. Answer both, David.
I can do that. Do that. Well, I kind of already did with the mound because Cooper Williams is the guy that I always say. I mean, I could find another guy and go, but I truly think that he's a stud. I really do think so. In the field, I don't know if you want me to give like a deeper answer if this seems obvious. To me it does, but I really think Cade Arrambide, and I've talked about this a lot, how much I listen to Jay Johnson, what he says and what he tells you, like things come to fruition when he says it's going to happen. And he said recently, or really going back to last year, that he fully believes that Cade Arrambide will be the best player in the program at some point before he leaves. And I mean, if Jay Johnson saying that,
he looks the part. He looks the part when he makes contact. He strokes it. I mean, he's gonna. I think he's gonna be a 100%. He's gonna be vastly improved. I think him seeing the SEC pitching last year, it's gonna slow. Game's gonna slow down for him. He's gonna be. I mean, he's an All-American. He's a future All-American.
He is. Yeah, that's a good point too. That Jay was just his expertise just in another way showed. Getting him in on a lot of those Saturdays to catch Anthony Irons, and even in SEC games, the game that stands out is Arkansas, where he hits like an opposite field home run. He had multiple hits in that game. Yeah, it just like Jay's like playing chess. It's let me get this guy in there where it's not just to spell Luis Hernandez and take a little bit of the load off of him. It's also preparing for the future, while you're still trying to win today. And the way he's able to do that and just keep rolling is impressive. That's like great point, Chip. Like him getting those experience in those ABs last year is going to be big.
And I thought he would take it over eventually last year. I didn't expect Hernandez to have as good as year as he did. And he just, he wasn't a full-time catcher
No. I was worried about him. Yeah.
He wasn't the full-time catcher, and he was solid back there, man. You got to give Jay credit on that one, and Hernandez, man. It was awesome to see what that guy did to us. For us.
Yeah, and it's crazy how many teams would die for a catcher that batted 242. That's what Aaron Beatty did last year.
As a true freshman.
Yeah, as a true freshman. And it's like you're like, he kind of struggled a little bit, but it's just like LSU baseball is just such a different standard than anywhere else.
But you saw a lot of potential in Aaron Beatty.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. You got some good catcher too. You got some these young guys, right? This.
Cerna.
Dude's a beast. He looks like a dog.
He's giant. When I saw him in person last week, I sat like 3 rows up behind home plate, and he came walking up. And one of the friends I was with, he goes, "Who is that kid? Is he a coach? Like that's an 18-year-old kid. Like it's crazy, dude."
Looks like he's 35.
They didn't look like. Yes. He's what movie is that? Is it Benchwarmers when he holds up the paper that says "I am 12"? I believe.
Yeah.
It's like a birth certificate. That's him.
It works.
Yeah.
Right.
It works.
I got to highlight AP's response to "Oops" in the chat.
AP
said, "Oops, does Ole Miss have more suspensions or championships in football? I'm just wondering." So, and a lot of requests to mute Oops tonight. So I'll leave it up to you, Zombie.
Oops is 100% in junior high. I don't think he's in high school. He might actually be just recently 14 years old.
Paul did say, would you count Williams as being surprising, though? We know he has good stuff.
Kind of. Not like surprising. I'm not saying, Paul, I'm not saying like surprising. It's one of those guys that I looked on here, and maybe I'm not. I mean, I watched every pitch the last 4 years. Maybe miss 1 or 2, but I'm not as in tune with baseball as in with football and basketball. But I kind of almost forgot about it. I'm embarrassed to say that, but until I started looking at the roster a couple weeks ago, I was like, holy shit, he's back. Forgot about this guy. Like it's like what I said is just team's just stacked. And I hope it's not like I'm sure everybody remembers 2000. I don't know. 2001, the year after we won a Natty. Mm-hmm. They brought back these studs. It was almost like we hit the transfer portal in 2001.
They did hit the transfer portal.
They did. They got what's his name from Washington.
Todd Linden, who was a major leaguer.
Yeah, major leaguer hitting home runs. Who was the big ass first baseman you had? He was also a big boy.
They had a few of them.
Had a beard, freaking just a badass.
Zeph Zinsman.
Deep
cut there.
You see these two did?
Skateboarding,
but it was Skip's last year, so they really back in those days, and baseball was the only sport where you could transfer and not sit out a year.
Oh, really?
And so it was Skip's last year, so they literally went all in on the transfer portal to make one last hurrah for Skip, and they had this loaded roster, but they never meshed as a team.
Yeah, it was just tough. And they struggled like the whole. And when I say struggled, they made a super regional.
They lost to Tulane.
Tulane, yeah. They made.
That was that year. Okay.
Sunday, yeah. It was at Zephyr Stadium. It was just like it was an awesome first game.
And we went 3 games in a super regional, and it was a failure of a season. LSU baseball for you.
Yeah, it sucked. Right. Last hurrah, and then Tulane made it, so you got like a double whammy. There's Italians on what was his name on Tulane? What was the little Kaplan?
Johnny Kaplan.
I hated that fucking dude. Now I know. I mean, I hope he's doing well. He's in the mob now.
Paul says, shout out to John Zarang, my cousin from the dark days, the smoke days. Guidry is bringing the goatee back. I still remember was it UNC Wilmington, Chip?
Yeah, he hit the walk-off.
Yeah, he hit a bomb that I don't think has still landed to this day.
I was going to ask if he was related to him, but I was like, no, I won't after the Dar.
Yeah, after.
I want to be like, actually, John Zarang was half white, half black. I'm like, what?
Y'all appreciate this. Then we talked about this last night. That Kylan Billiot. I think someone asked me if it's pronounced the same way. So ever since he committed and got to LSU, anytime he tweets or something, I've always just commented and like, hey, good shit, cuz like I'm proud of you, And I'm like, I told my brother-in-law, my stepdad, I'm like, this dude's probably wondering. He's like asking his mom, like, who is this white dude that's calling me cuz? Like, I'm like, same last name.
Right? Where's he at now? He's with Billy Napier. Billy Napier.
Is he?
He does well. I always like that.
JMU?
Yeah, he's at JMU.
Yeah. Paul says the Smoke years are the perfect example of the expectation. Smoke made it to Omaha in the Supers and then got run off.
You think
he literally
the vest? It was the vest years.
Yeah.
Well, he was replacing a legend.
Don't be the guy to follow the guy.
Don't ever be the guy that follows the greatest of all time.
Right.
You're never going to live up to expectations because they're going to compare you to him. Guy made it to Omaha twice. In 5 seasons, was he the head coach? 2 seasons in Omaha, the other 2, no, he was 6 seasons. 2 super regionals, 1 regional, and then his last year he didn't make the tournament.
I think he got knocked out by South Carolina every time. We got blown out.
I think he did
in the second game every time. But yeah, it was those were weird. You can't ever let a guy pick their successor. Saints, a la Saints.
Well, yeah, that too.
Yeah,
they didn't need to settle for hindsight being 2020. They didn't need to settle for Smoke Laval. You could have gotten anybody.
Yeah, oops. Your coach is only a coach this year. I promise you, he's gonna get fired. So, what's Skeet? So,
well, Paul, talking about Ole Miss baseball, talk about the schedule. LSU has a tough draw this year with their SEC schedule compared to some of the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull it up. Sorry.
No, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but just they open at Vanderbilt, but it's a tougher, like every now and then football, you get the heavier, heavyweights that come in that appear on your schedule, and other guys are not coasting by in the SEC, but you know what I'm saying. But they have a little bit of a harder draw this year than normal, you think?
It is. It's 7 ranked matchups of 10. 4 of them are at home. 3 on the road. It's manageable. I think what's different this year compared to the last 2 years is it's balanced. 2 years ago it was heavy in the front half. That first 5 weeks was brutal. That's why they went 3-12. And then it lightened up and they were able to catch up. Last year was the other way around. You had Missouri and Mississippi State, with a lame duck coach, on his way out. It was lighter, and then it got heavier in the back half. So this year it's pretty balanced. It's spread out. You start Vandy, and then Oklahoma is early. That's at home. That's an easy win, and then it's 2 ranked matchups in a row, and then an unranked, and then ranked. So it is tough. The toughest one is going to be the Mississippi State series. You go to they're number 4 in the poll I was looking at. Duty Noble's always a tough place to play. That crowd, that stadium is awesome. We got a lot of respect for that fan base in that stadium. But going there, and they got the first year coach excitement with Brian O'Connor coming from Virginia. That one's going to be tough. But yeah, it's there's no breaks this year. No 2-week breaks, or more. I guess I should say. You
Missouri this year, because I'm guessing South Carolina will be improved too. They're supposed to be way improved, right?
I think they were picked. They were picked towards the bottom, though.
They were, but
they are.
I think the whole SEC is. I've even heard
Missouri's bad. I think
heard they're not.
I don't think they're on the schedule.
They're going to be ranked 16.
Missouri's not now.
No, they're not. We don't have any of the But I guess South Carolina's the worst.
South Carolina could be
is.
bad. Did Paul recruit?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he went to the transfer portal
because he didn't recruit year one, and then just
I
got
heard that
obliterated.
Missouri's staff has gotten a lot better. That's what I've heard I've been podcasting a lot about baseball last 2 weeks. I'm trying to catch
it. Talking about playing at Mississippi State, we have a friend, Chip and I, that LSU grad, but went to med school in Jackson, and he became a quasi.
At LSU. That's even weirder. But he did his
residency. Chip corrects me on this every time. Yeah. But either way, he landed in Mississippi. He became a quasi Ole Miss, quasi Mississippi State fan, and it's weird. It drives Chip insane. But I don't want to go too far down that wormhole.
He was one of my closest friends, and I barely even talk to him now, just because it's just too much. I know. I bring
this up because Mississippi. We do talk about that Mississippi State. I mean, it's not Tiger Stadium in football, but it is such a cool venue. It is such a unique venue in sports. Nobody else has a hotel, like condos or whatever the hell they got going over there that overlook the baseball field. And then the way they do the whole outfield with the cookers and the tailgate area, it's so cool, and it makes for such a great experience. And then when they're good, that place is so tough to play.
Yeah, when Paul was here at the end there, I'm just jealous of Mississippi State.
Yeah.
It's I know that sounds terrible. I'm thankful for what Paul did and everything. And but I was always man, that looks like an old Alex Box stadium, just blue collar, and they're there to have fun. But I think Vanderbilt will be tough this year. I hate playing at Vanderbilt. I know we had a good showing there a couple of years ago. I think Jay has done well at Vanderbilt actually, but I do. I don't like that stadium because it's got that big ass wall. Is it like Auburn's?
Yeah. It's very hot. You got the one side of the football stadium basically hanging over, casting a shadow over the baseball field. It's for a baseball program that's won a national championship, and done so well. It's it's crazy.
He's a phenomenal coach. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
We deserve better. It's gonna be a crazy season though, man. The schedule is tough, and after you said that, I looked at it, I was like, wow.
But that's just the SEC in baseball. I mean, there's going to be 12 teams ranked throughout the season. There's no way to make the schedule light, quote unquote. No. I mean, it's murderer's row. I mean, at some point in the season, there's going to be 7 teams ranked in the top 10. It happens every single year. The SEC tournament, I say this every year, the SEC tournament is harder to win than the College World Series. Because you get teams that sneak in. Right. But the SEC baseball tournament is just murderer's row.
Did they put Mississippi State in the top 10 this year? Aren't they pretty high? They're they're
4.
That's what he was just saying.
That would be my surprise team. If that ain't a surprise team, they're a top 5 team.
Right.
I don't know what I would do to pick. So I don't think Tennessee will be Tennessee.
Not this year, right?
I mean, they're going to take a step back. They'll still have talent, but they'll take a step back.
So I don't know if going to Tennessee will be as bad as playing with V over there. With V.
If Vitello was the coach and we're going to Knoxville, I'm like, son of a bitch.
Hope to get one,
Yes, exactly. Let's not get swept.
This is usually good a year and bad a year. So I'm hoping they're bad this year. They usually when they're supposed to be good, they suck.
Oklahoma's a good draw at home. I mean, is Oklahoma?
They're pretty good too, though. I mean, they got good.
Yeah, I mean but that's that, mid-level SEC team.
David, have you heard anything about what was the old pitcher that transferred to Oklahoma? He was our stud,
but you didn't draw Arkansas.
Cam Johnson.
I wonder if he makes a step up this year. I wonder if
he is. They announced a couple of days ago that he's their ace. He's their Friday night guy, Cam Johnson.
Oh, okay.
So it'll be curious to see. I mean, I hope for it. I've talked about this. That I felt bad for a kid like that who passes on millions to come to school, which is what we want these guys to do. We want them to come to college. We want the whole game to grow. And then he comes here, he can barely get on the field because he can't throw the ball over the plate. He's throwing 100 from the left side, and you just can't find a way to use him. It's crazy. And then he moves on. Skip Johnson is considered probably the best left-handed pitching coach in the country at Oklahoma. So it was a perfect spot for him to go. But then he, had another rough year where LSU played Oklahoma, I think, week 4 or 5 of the season. No, he didn't. He didn't pitch at all. Like he was out by that point.
He's getting late. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping.
Actually, I think walks were his problem again. He's just like walk the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would strike out 2 people at LSU and then walk 3 in a row. And you're
right.
Like,
right.
And he was such a stud. Looked like a dog. I mean, he is a stud. He's a dog. Pitching so finicky.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Arkansas's ranked number 7, Auburn's ranked number 9. You don't have either one of them on the schedule. So I don't think this. If you look at it on paper, it's tough because it's the SEC, but it's not like 2 years ago when we had the nothing but top 10 ranked teams the first 5 series.
And that killed us.
That killed us when we were breaking in 3 starting pitchers that were new to the program. Well, Thatcher Hurd wasn't, but Thatcher Hurd struggled.
Yeah, to your point, they only have one as of now. I mean, this can change, but as of now, there's only one top 10 matchup. We have 7 ranked, but only one of them in top 10. So that's a great point, Daniel. That it's just an SEC schedule. It on paper, it's always going to look hard for the most part, but yeah, it's not as brutal as it could be if we're being honest.
Yes. It's not the worst hand we've ever been dealt.
But you still have 7 out of 10 ranked opponents in SEC play, right? That's what Daniel's pointing to the SEC tournament. And here we're talking about teams that aren't on the schedule. It could have been 8, could have been 9, depending on the draw. But crazy stuff. All right, so David,
that's because there's 11 ranked teams in the SEC.
Schedule, I think a hard series is going to be Georgia, the second to last series. And I know Florida has talent, obviously. Is their coach back? Did he come back?
Yeah, he's back. Yeah, he's back. He's been back a couple weeks ago. He came back.
Okay. All right. I know he had like a little. He's having some struggling in life.
Legal disclaimer.
Yeah.
and to Paul's point, we know the rankings mean nothing at the current moment.
Right.
Yeah.
There's going to be teams that aren't ranked, like maybe it's South Carolina that goes on a run, and there's going to be SEC teams that was it Auburn last year?
Yeah,
that came out of nowhere.
Well, I don't know about nowhere. They weren't supposed to be as good as they were, and not too.
There's going to be somebody and somebody. Yeah, somebody's going to come up. Somebody's going to come down. So
Texas A&M was the number 1 ranked team.
Ole Miss was a national ranked seed. They were like 5 in the middle of the year. It's nuts. And Texas looked unbeatable for a little bit last year, and then they.
Yeah, and like David said, A&M was ranked number 1. They were the favorite to win it all.
Well, they're going to be talented. They're definitely talented. I mean, they got to. That's going to be. I'm glad that's in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
I do agree with Paul. I don't think it'll be South Carolina.
No, probably.
I think the game has passed Maneri by, and now he's playing catch up, and he's old.
I thought he would probably leave this year. I thought for a second he'd be like, okay, maybe it wasn't for me, because he had those. He looked very uncomfortable last year. He was rubbing his neck all the time.
He even mentioned at one point that it was harder than he thought. Like he forgot how hard it was or something. He's like, what are we saying, Paul? Like, yeah.
That's not the right way to say that.
Right. Like you at LSU. What do you mean?
Right.
Exactly. How hard it was.
I think they just got a new AD.
Team's not as good.
I thought that they were going to be like, hey, look. And they had a good coach. I don't know why they got rid of him. He was like a young guy. The coach they had before him.
Kingston, I think.
Yeah, I don't know why you replaced him.
But David, talking about coaches, talk to us about your thoughts with the Tennessee coach jumping from that program all the way straight to Pasco, collect that check, San Francisco Giants.
It's going to be fun to watch for sure. Vitello's I got a lightning rod. He's the guy that you would love him if he's your coach, and everyone else hates him. And I get it. He has his moments, but he's a damn good coach. Like you cannot deny that what he's done. It's going to be interesting to watch. Though I wonder if the fact that NIL, transfer portal, which is basically free agency, if we're being honest, if the way that has come into the college game has made professional organizations see that as like, okay, well, maybe it's not as quite of a jump as it used to be, coming from college and just recruiting and going to the pros, because you're doing, and I mean, it's a little bit different. It's not apples to apples with MLB or NFL. It's called a manager in baseball because it's basically what it is. They're not making all of the roster decisions, like a Sean Payton is doing in the NFL. But it's going to be interesting to watch, just because he's the first to ever do it. How's it going to work out, and will his personality really work as well as it does, in the pros, as it did on 18 to 22-year-old college kids, the 28-year-old veteran's going to really, buy into that, or if things struggle, they're going to just think he's full of crap. It's going to be curious to watch for sure.
Right. What kind of season is San Francisco looking to have, or projected to have? You don't know.
I'm honestly not sure. I haven't even given it.
Yeah,
really.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be a tough year. And San Francisco's been bad the last few years.
I want to throw Paul's comment up there. He said one more thing about Mainieri. He said Mainieri played small ball, almost midget ball. He just didn't bunt. Paul didn't recruit power bats. He believed he could develop raw power. And I was thinking about that earlier when I was looking at the roster and the size of our 3 potential second basemen. They're all over 6'1". They all played first, third. They're all big guys. And you go back to like Mainieri's last year where it was Will Safford starting the first game of the season, because we had like 5'6", 5'7" guys at second base. Because Paul just thought he could plug anybody out there.
Who was the coach's kid at third base?
What, Chip?
Who was the coach's kid at third base? He was like
Hal Hughes. That was another one
Hal
that
Hughes.
Paul would just plug in there.
And then there was a second baseman who was another one.
I'm trying to think of his name. He wore number 16.
He went to Kansas. He was good.
Yes.
Yeah, he went to Kansas and was pretty good. I think he batted like 350 his senior year. But
started with a C.
Yeah.
Collier Cranfield.
Collier Cranford.
Yeah.
Yep. Collier Cranford. Yep.
Those are my 3.
I had to
guys.
Daniel, you're like the old Johnny Carson routine when he did the mind reader. And it's like whatever name you said.
Because when David said 16, I could just see it. I could see him standing in the batter's box. I just couldn't place his name.
Right.
And I was like, it starts with a C.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Man, dude, those years when, and then you had what was the little catcher guy, broke his leg hitting home plate, loved him to death.
Milazzo, Alex Milazzo.
Yeah, so bad in there too. Those one with like 4 guys at 180 below.
Well, yeah, that was the beginning of Paul's last year, where you had that freshman class that ended up being Trey Morgan, Dylan Cruz, and all those guys.
Right.
But at the beginning of the year, you started that season with like 3 black holes in the lineup with Milazzo, Cranford, and Hal Hughes, or whoever it was, or Safford. It was this combination of these guys, and none of them could hit over 210. And it's like, we're LSU. What are we doing?
Yeah.
The most pulmonary memory or stat, I guess, that remember that Will Helmers was your starting third baseman.
Oh yeah. Oh, we talked.
It might have been that
his
year.
freshman
Yes.
year. Yes. Will Helmers was his starting third baseman. Yeah, and then he was just like, he talked about it before, in the last few years. He said he even when Mainieri told him you're starting at third tonight, he was like, why? Like what? Like, I mean, he's clearly talented. You can make it to that point in high school at Jesuit. You can play third base, you can pitch, you can do everything he did. But when the kid himself is surprised that he's going to play the field, expecting to be a pitcher, that says it all right there.
And he did pitch a little bit that year. He did pitch a pretty good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, that's crazy. I think it's gonna be a good season.
It's gonna be exciting, that's for sure.
I'm excited.
Daniel, what you looking at over there?
I'm looking at that lineup. I'm thinking of it different. It must have been the year before.
Well, there was like 4 years. It was a while. You always.
I'm probably meshing together some different rosters.
You had a few guys under 220. I mean, maybe his first year they were really bad. I can't remember. I mean, they were bad. They wore white hats. This is crazy. 2-tone white hats. Remember that? Yellow brim with white. That was crazy. But I at the end of the last like 7 years, you'd always have someone with like a 220 below. You'd like 4 guys.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is crazy. And I think Paul would teach him to hit it on the ground, didn't he? Didn't they say that?
It wouldn't surprise me.
Philosophy was like recruit shortstops and just put them at every position.
Yeah, hit it on the ground.
Yeah, just try to use speed. The game at one point it worked, but it just kids are too big and strong nowadays.
There was a time when Tennessee was good at baseball before. In the early 2000s, they were pretty good, and they did that. They went from like a mashed hitting team to like they got some dude from the West Coast. And it just destroyed their baseball program. They got a guy from what's the big West Coast team? What's the real famous great West Coast team?
Cal State Fullerton.
Yeah, Fullerton. They got the old Fullerton head coach, and he just destroyed that whole program. Until
you talking about Tennessee?
Yeah, and so that was what happened to them. And I was always like, man, this is kind of what's happening to LSU.
Serrano, right?
Yeah, Serrano.
Dave Serrano. Is that his name?
I remember when he came in, I'm being like, it's not gonna work. Small balls.
They hired him, and like Tennessee now notoriously has this tiny stadium that they play in.
Yeah.
So why would you hire a small ball coach
in
a tiny ass ballpark?
Right.
But move those outfield walls back, make foul territory massive, and then play a small ball. Doesn't make sense.
Right.
So, but anyway,
that's crazy.
It was 2020 that roster that was like that.
Oh yeah, but with Tennessee, it's crazy because I've always been told on Twitter that Tony Vitello created college baseball when he got there in whatever year that was. That's what Tennessee fans say, that it didn't matter before then.
They made the College World Series in 2001. So I mean, they had, what's his name? The freaking
Luke Hochaver,
and then they had, who was the shortstop? He's always on ESPN with what's his name?
Chris Burke.
Yeah, Burke was playing for him.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of Todd Helton. I'm before that.
Helton was,
Colorado Rocky.
Yeah, Helton was like 92. Quarterback, 21.
Anyway.
There you go. David, anything about LSU baseball that we've missed that we haven't touched on tonight?
I'm sure. There's one guy that I was thinking about when Paul mentioned that if we said Cooper Williams wouldn't be a surprise, that I didn't get to mention pitch and watch. Watch out for Marcos Paz.
I knew you were going to say him.
It's a freshman out of Texas who would not be here if he didn't blow out his elbow before his senior year. Right. It's Cade Anderson, but as a right-hander. Like Cade Anderson was not going to be at LSU if he didn't blow out his elbow before his senior year. He might have got drafted top 10 out of high school. And that's Marcos Paz. He still almost got drafted last year, despite that, because he came back just in time, just to be able to throw. And it was just you can see it when he throws the ball. But he's a guy that I it's hard to make a prediction that like he's going to jump into the rotation because it means somebody's got to fail. And I don't necessarily think that anyone's going to fail, but I could just see him. He could be that good to where he's there, or I could see him playing the Case and Evans role of last year. That's where I think he lands.
Or like midweek.
Or like closer, like
he
comes in late in games, shuts it down, and stretches out, becomes a guy that you can trust and could start a game here and there if you need to down the stretch.
There you go. Okay.
There's definitely going to be a guy like that for sure.
Right.
When was the last time you saw a pitcher wear number 97? I don't think I ever have.
I love it.
Yeah.
I saw that he's the highest number.
Yeah, that's one of those things. If you have a crazy number like that, you got to be good.
99. Yeah.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah, you got to be good.
You got to be good.
You got to be good. You got to back it up because otherwise, if you go out there and you post an 8-run ERA wearing number 97, you're just a tool.
Right.
But if you're dominant, then you're like, dang.
Yeah. It becomes cool. So, okay.
David, the baseball guru.
Absolutely.
David Billiot Jr.
David, any thoughts on Drew Brees, first ballot Hall of Fame?
I mean, it was a no-brainer in my opinion and a lot of opinions. But honestly, when the Bill Belichick thing happened, I was like, what's going on here? Like, it actually made me think for a second, like, is there a chance that something weird happens and he doesn't get in? And at the same time, as much as we love and appreciate him for his time at LSU, Braden Fajoko's, mentioning that he doesn't think he's that good, as good as he was. And he's playing devil's advocate, which I think is all he's really doing. But no, Drew's a legend. He saved New Orleans football.
We had Braden Fajoko on last September, and I had texted Daniel and Chip just the other day, anticipating, of course, Drew getting in tonight on the first ballot, asking Braden to come back on, to defend his take on Drew Brees and all that. But AP and I talked about that last night. We were talking about Chuck in the last game of the season at Atlanta, throwing to guys who are now working at CarMax or Hibernia Bank or something like that. But Drew Brees, the first year he threw for 5,000 yards, Marcus Colston was hurt most of that season. He did not have a 1,000-yard passer. A receiver. When he threw for 5,000 that first time, that's incredible. It's just he and look, I joked that he only won one Super Bowl. Obviously, Jimmy Graham scored too quickly in that San Francisco game in January of 2012. They should have hosted the Giants the following week. They had already beat the shit out of the Giants at home that year. So at least you get back against the Patriots into the Super Bowl. And of course, the Nola no call was just completely rigged. But congratulations for getting in. I'm thinking that the Saints have to be the Hall of Fame game participant at Tom Benson Field in Canton, Ohio, when Drew Brees gets inducted into the Hall of Fame there. So that would make sense. But again, don't let something that makes sense get in the way of making dollars and cents.
With the Bill Belichick thing, I don't think we've even talked about that, have we?
No, not really.
I think we did.
I thought sports, that just made me so angry. And I'm not the hugest Belichick fan, but it's just.
All right, but when Sean Payton hangs him up, is Sean Payton going to be penalized? And is he going to not
probably? It's insane. If someone doesn't like you, you can't make the. That doesn't matter. If you're picking. So I'm a historian. I like history and I like war history. Earl Rommel's one of the best leaders of all time, but best generals of all time. He's a Nazi. I'm still going to put him in the Hall of Fame for his generals. I didn't like him, didn't want him to win.
Legal disclaimer.
And I like Nick Saban for 20 years being in Alabama. He's the best college football coach of all time. Right. He's being the College Football Hall of Fame. That guy's a fucking douchebag. Excuse my language.
You're good. And AP saying Sean's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, and you can't. He's not when you put his resume up against.
If Bill Belichick isn't, nobody is.
Well, then who the hell is?
Thank you. Right.
There's nobody.
Who the hell is with those kind of numbers and that kind of record? Who the hell is?
God, but the guy should have won 2 Super Bowls and would have won 2 Super Bowls if it wasn't for the worst call in the history of the game. One of them.
Well, he would have won in 2020 with Tom Brady, but Drew Brees blocked the Saints on that. So,
I do actually agree with you on that.
Yeah, 100%. Russell Wilson was supposed to be the starter and the NFC quarterback in the Pro Bowl. He stepped aside so Drew Brees could take the snap because everybody knew that he was going to retire. Tom Brady was going to hook up with Sean Payton, and Drew Brees said, "Not on my watch. I got no shoulder, but not on my watch."
But there's a giant hole in your theory here, Zombie. Two parts to it. The Saints and Tampa Bay.
Don't let facts get in the way of my theory, Daniel.
COVID, because the Saints hosted that playoff game in an empty. Well, that's part B. Part A is the Superdome was empty. If the Superdome's not empty, the Saints don't lose that game.
If Jared Cook don't fumble.
And then if Jared Cook doesn't fumble, the Saints go up, 24-7?
Well, who threw the touchdown in that game? Jameis Winston. Drew didn't have a touchdown pass in that
but they still, as much as you say Drew Brees was dead at that point, Tom Brady was equally dead at that point.
He won Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he was just as bad as Drew Brees in that game.
Yeah, here we go. AP's putting facts on there. So, all right. Anyway. Give a shout out to everybody in the chat.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Daniel.
No, can you hear me?
All right. Yeah. All right. We're going to wrap it up. David, tell everybody that stuck around and was in the chat. Paul had tons of good questions in there.
Thank you, Paul.
Oops. I fucking love Oops, man. He's such a pain in the ass. David, where can everybody follow you? Where can they find you?
G-Moo says you're correct, Zombie. On
what?
And then if AP says, yeah. If ifs and buts for candy and nuts, we'd all have Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And then Oops says, I led the state in home runs my senior year at Holy Cross.
I thought he went to Edna Carr.
No, so Oops has now gone to Mandeville, Holy Cross, and Edna Carr.
Dude, Oops is an 8th grader at what's the school down there in what's the private school down there in Oxford? Or down there in Jackson Prep. He goes like Jackson Prep.
No. What was the school that
funny tonight?
What was the school that Hugh Freeze coached at in the blind?
Blindside. Yeah.
Germantown.
It was somewhere in Germantown, but there was the name of the school. Whatever that private school
That's
was.
what he is.
It was.
He's right.
His brother was good in football.
He's like a 12-year-old that knows all his sports on the phone. Yeah, SJ.
But he can't
now AD.
He has no athletic ability. This kid. Oops has no athletic ability.
Oops goes to Riverdale.
Hey, didn't Dante Jackson go to Riverdale?
I don't know.
Oops went to Riverdale. Yeah, Dante Jackson.
All right.
We're randomly good for
legal disclaimer. G-Moose. Oops is special ed. He still is.
He is. Oops is definitely special.
Oh shit! All right, David. On a serious note, where can everybody follow you on social media?
On Twitter, it's DC Billiot Jr. That's it. Billiot. Just come swing by, drop a follow. I try to tell everyone. I mentioned it earlier. Just reply. I try to reply to anyone who replies to me. If you take the time to reply and give your thought to something that I put out there, I appreciate it. And I love the chat. So come stop by.
And then what podcast do you have lined up next? Who are you appearing with?
Me and AP have been talking about getting together. We haven't locked down a date yet, but hopefully that's. I'm very excited to talk to AP.
Yeah. No, he's a great guy. Great guy. We enjoy him as well. All right, Daniel. Anything else you want to talk on tonight? Anybody in the chat?
The women's basketball team got blown out, but that's it.
7. Can I talk about a C?
Well, it was like 15 at one point.
Oh shit!
I didn't want to interrupt David while he was doing it, but I was like so disgusted because I'm just not a girls basketball fan. Nothing wrong with it. I want them to be good, but I don't know. But just watching a girl just
legal disclaimer. I'm just getting it ready. Right. Hold on. Yeah, I just know where this is going.
There was who's our little point guard? She's really good. So why are you dribbling the ball you're the point guard? You're bringing it up. You're at your own foul shot line and you're just bringing it up and somebody steals the ball. Wide open layup. Girl misses the wide open layup. We get the ball, go down.
AP says in the show now. Cut it.
Play the music, Dan. You play the music.
No, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just telling you that was a sequence I saw, and I'm like, I'm turning.
I laughed and I hit my microphone.
On much for your time. We'd love to have you back during the season. Right before the SEC kicks in, and then throughout, we'll share you with Purple Mafia and Zach and AP and everybody else that's smart enough to have you come on and talk LSU baseball with you. Really, really appreciate your time, man.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate y'all.
Absolutely.
And Zombie, I'm throwing it to you. One last thing. You got it tonight.
And good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
Good night,
guys. Thank you.